I wanted to say two things ahead. The first one is I read your paper, your excellent paper, and I've seen your presentation, which was terrific. I think we should, I just finished my job as military advocate general, but if I could, I would take you to our military school of law and put you there, and we have a lot to learn from you. So it was great. Anyhow, when I read it, I did agree with you on most things, and the other thing that I've noticed slight signs of frustration. However, what is unique is that I've also seen some signs of hope for the future, which is not so regular. And I have to tell you that being for a long time, I don't know if everybody knows it, but I've been for a long time, Aron Mishnayot knows it, I've been a defense counsel for lots of years, so I can really feel what you say. And you live for those minutes. It's better than anything. So I can definitely understand what you were talking about. Well, I'm afraid I'm not in no position to go into Nur's case because I don't know the relevant evidence. It sounds not so good to be, especially the time it took to get things over. Hopefully it was not on purpose. Anyhow, I will try very briefly to describe the way we in Israel tried to cope with the question of detention of combatants, especially to a non-state actor, which is more of international character, less criminal law, more international law. But I think this is the main question. And there are different options to consider it. And by the way, when I was in this visit to the US, I offered them our new legislation, which I refer to. It was legislated on 2002. So it might be relevant, but it's okay. Everybody can take what he wants. Anyhow, regardless of the classification of a conflict, armed conflict, as an international armed conflict or non-international armed conflict, it is our belief that any state can is entitled to detain a person who takes direct participation in hostilities, what we call DPH, or member of an organized armed group. By the way, a phrase that was not recognized by our Supreme Court yet. It was recognized by the International Red Cross, but not by our Supreme Court. Hopefully, this will change. Anyhow, we believe we can detain him. The rationale is the same as the one concerning regular lawful combatants. If you can detain a lawful combatant as a POW, then certainly you can detain those who do not obey the rules of law. The question, and now we're getting closer to your presentation, is how do we do it? How do we detain him? So our comfort zone, and I was also raised as a criminal lawyer, although I had this little swift to international law afterwards, but it's our comfort zone to go to the criminal law. It's very comfortable. We want to go there. We feel at home there. But trying to go to criminal law, especially concerning what I call, I don't know if you heard this frame. It was I just saw it in the last several months when I was working. I call them terrorilla armies. Terrorilla army means a combination of terror and guerrilla armies, which is like Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, or Al Qaeda, and these are the sort of armies we deal with. You can prosecute them in criminal court. It can be military, it can be civilian. I know your problems concerning why you went to the military courts, but you can go to criminal procedures. If they will be convicted, they will be sentenced and punished for what he has committed. And this is the comfort zone. But, and there's a huge but, concerning our system, it can only be done if he has his day in the court of justice, which means he has to get his full pack of rights. You cannot have reliefs, you cannot have discounts on the pack of rights of the defendant. If you must expose to him all the relevant evidence, all the material. You must have regular criminal rules of evidence and procedure. All the things you've talked about. Otherwise, don't go there. Why do you have to go to criminal procedures if you can't give the full pack and go into trouble? And this is what makes me not convenient. I'm out of my comfort zone when I see the way the decision was made to try to, what I call, I don't know if I will say it in English, but we call it to hold the rope on the two ties or the two ends, both criminal and then sort of administrative detention. You try to take the two of the two words, the good from the two words. And what happens is that you miss it all and you blow it all. This is the danger. So if you can't give the full pack of rights, what we try to do is it's understandable. You can understand it because you have operational problems, you have intelligence problems, you can't reveal everything. So it's okay. So then you cannot try him for what you suspect him he has done, and you have to go to detain him in order that he wouldn't come back to the battlefield. And this should be made only to those whom you are afraid will go back to the battlefield, and you'll find them there. And you have to have good reasons for it. And to make sure you're not making a mistake, you also have to have a strict judicial review over it. So even if you go to the possibility of administrative detention, or what I'm going to refer to in a second, our domestic law, which deals with unlawful combatant statute, then you have to have a full judicial review. It's true, you cannot reveal everything, you cannot release him, but then you cannot try him, you cannot sentence him to, I don't know, maybe to lifetime sentence, maybe 10 years, 20 years sentence, you can do it. You can every time you have to check and recheck it. For example, every 6 months you have to check and double check and see if he's still an hazard to you, if he's still dangerous to you, if he's still, if the possibility of him returning to the battlefield is still there, and you have to prove it. So this is the way that we try to deal with it. You go either to criminal court, and it is preferable you go to criminal court because this is better. And if you go there, you must do it according to the rules. And that is why, I know you have a lot of discussion concerning it, that is why I was, for example, I'm not going to talk about a little lot because it takes some time. That is why we're proud of our judicial courts, and we think they are very independent, and we took several steps. I know Aaron probably talked to you about it, several initiatives and steps to make sure that the courts will be truly independent and truly give the defendants his day in court, the full pack of rights. He can see the evidence, and if you can't see it, then you cannot try it. You can see everything. If you can't show it to him, don't try him. Go to the other way, which is not simple, but you cannot release him also. So go to the other way, but don't do it. Take the word on the two sides, and you're losing everything. And then the perception, this perception of going either to criminal court or to detention, according to the fear that he will go back to the battlefield, was adopted into our domestic law, the Detention of Lawful Combatant Statute for 2002. It was sort of approved by the Israeli Supreme Court. I have a lot to tell you about it. It was approved, but the major part of it was left to be decided in the proper cases, in the proper case. But the method is like this: is either you go to criminal law and you want to try him and convict him and have him punished, then you must give him everything he deserves. And that is why I agree with you. It doesn't look this way. Even today, things are much better than they were, but it's not enough. You still have, as you said, you have to improve and do it together. It's very important to do it together. As you said, I agree. We are not perfect as well, and we have a lot to learn and not to improve. We're trying to go to that direction, and I know there's a lot of criticism concerning every issue, and it's okay. It's good because we have to check ourselves, we have to double check ourselves. It's okay, and still we stick to our attitude that if you want to go to criminal, then do it the right way, and if you don't, go to administrative detention or go to the domestic law, which gives you a sort of solution to this problem. Not perfect, but I hope it is better. I will stop now because I can go into the law and talk a lot, but I want to give a stage for questions for both of us, actually.
So, thank
you very much.
You stole my friend.